What I was gonna tell you, Brotha Kel, is I was literally talking to myself an hour ago, and I said, "Damn, man! When I see these young black boys just have so much contempt and disdain for another black man, I see them just projecting what their mothers have
projecting
embedded.
What their mothers have put in them. I said that.
Yep.
They're amplifying. It's like it's like basically, it's like a sound system and a speaker. Okay? Mm-hmm. They're literally funneling what their mother has planted inside them, just bam, bam, bam. But yet, look at the way that these young black men behave generally when they see white people. Check this out. I was at a Royal Farms, a little gas station where you could get, fried chicken and stuff like that. It's pretty popular, up and down the east and different parts of the south. But mm-hmm. I was at this Royal Farms out there in Baltimore County. Mm-hmm. And this brother was sitting there behind the, I had ordered some gas and whatnot, and I figured, hey, I might as well stop and grab some chicken or whatever, and then head on back home. Head back over to Anne Arundel County. So, it's not that far up Route 1 from me. So while I'm there, this brother is sitting there talking to this white man, nodding his head like a slave, just job, right, just, yeah. Giving him complete service. Like, do you want what sort of condiments, do you want relish, or you want blah, 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 giving them complete service. So, white guy leaves, I step up, right? Mm-hmm. I never opened my mouth, Raheem.
I believe you.
Look, I never opened my mouth. That damn smile that was on his face when he talked to that white man immediately transformed to a scowl. And I mean the type of scowl that you get from these sisters. And the first thing that comes out of his mouth before I can say anything, man, look, man, we don't have no white meat, man. That's the first damn thing that he says out of his mouth.
Hell.
And I'm like, chicken isn't even the only thing that you can order up there. You can order a number. You can order hamburgers. You can order, you can order hot dogs, hamburgers, nacho cheese chips, all that stuff. Okay.
Right.
I mean, this brother, the minute I come up, just and like you said, like we've noted, it's the projection that's coming from that black mom. And not even just black mothers, it's black female school teachers.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I know.
Okay. Black aunties, black grandmothers, black, you cannot hear as a child, okay? You cannot constantly hear as a child and get thrown down your ear hole. Those niggas are trifling, that daddy of his is blah, 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 and not have, okay, the same sort of resentments and angers. You just can't.
Man, Brotha Kel, whenever I seen these teachers and staffs growing up here, man, here in Chicago, like, they would just have that Steve Harvey-like smile when they're around the presence of a white man.
In y'all city, I mean, when they had the Chicago teachers strike,
Yeah.
98% of all the teachers are female?
Oh, I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Look at what type of discrimination that is. That men are subjected to in that city. Yeah, they said 98% of all the school teachers, the public school teachers are women. And over 92% of all the women working in child social work. In child social work are women. So if you're a dad, okay, or a grandfather or a concerned male, like I'm concerned about my child, these women are just gonna bulldoze right over you.
Yep. I'm gonna make a part 1 and part 2. I'm gonna make a part 1 with you and part 2 with him separately. But yeah, you're right, Brotha Kel. Well, yeah. Like that's why I've seen and check this out. When it came to schools in Chicago, even if they had a man, it would be one of those like simpish men, especially if it was a black man.
Right,
like
because they've been relegated. Okay, they're terrified. That they'll lose their job, or worse off. Okay, worse off, one of these women will get one of these complaints going. It could be any types of complaints. And worst of all, one of these false sexual complaints. I met this brother that was teaching in Baltimore City. And the stories that he told me, he was from Baltimore. He's from Baltimore, went away to school, came back. He said, he was he was motivated, said, I got to do something, I got to help out. He went to the service, then he went to college, graduated, came back, becomes a school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
He and some of these other school teachers that he was pretty cool with, they tried with their might to help the students at their school, and they ended up finding out that this woman, the principal of their particular school, as well as another administrator who happened to be a male, both of them black folks, okay, was stealing from the school.
Whoa.
When they tried to do something about it, he said that they had covered their tracks so well that they literally had all these other, like, female Negroes and a couple of other little peons, simpish, black male Negroes, in line to basically say, do their bidding and say anything.
And I'm glad you said that, because it made me think, like what you just said in that story you shared made me think about Lean On Me with Mr. Clark, with Morgan Freeman's character.
Exactly, right. And he said it was really, really sad. He said,
because
that they ended up threatening his job.
Yep.
And after they threatened his job and everything, he said, because this guy coaches too. That was how I met him. He coaches, youth football, basketball. He told me a guy that he went to school with and played ball with, white guy, put a good word out for him, and he ended up in teaching and coaching in private school and hasn't looked back.
Okay, good stuff.
And that's what the unfortunate thing is. The people that are really being robbed are the children. Okay?
Yeah.
They're being robbed of that brother or that sister, okay, that will actually look out for them and have their best interests. Because they've been screwed over and they're without a job.
Yep.
And you end up in that sort of situation where the young man that Baltimore riot was over a few years ago, Freddie Gray.
Oh man.
Right, you end up in this sort of situation.
How
Okay,
was that for
everybody's
you, man? When that Freddie Gray situation happened, Brother Kel? Like, how was?
I'm gonna get to that. But you end up in that sort of situation, okay, that he was in throughout the course of his life.
Yeah.
And everybody everybody was hooting and hollering and yelling, "Oh man, justice for Freddie," and blah blah, who's now dead and gone. But you're not bringing up important factors. For example, okay, and I brought this up in a video. All right.
Yeah.
Freddie Gray, the elementary school and middle schools that he attended in Baltimore, this school, okay, had like 8 different principals.
Whoa.
Within like a 2-3 year period. How can you possibly have any sort of structure and order for these youngsters? Okay, if you have, the school had like 8 different principals, and half of the school teachers weren't even teaching the class. So they had like subs in the class for like just a paid sub in the class, basically babysitting the kids. All right? So there is no relationship with the children. Okay, I was fortunate enough when I was coming up. All right, to have it to where, especially in elementary school, some of those very school teachers that I had, number one, they were career school teachers. This is what they did for like 25, 30 plus years. All right? They knew children.
Yeah.
All right? Not to mention, more than a couple of them, they knew my parents on a personal level. Okay? This is outside of school teaching. For example, when I was in the 4th grade, I had a school teacher named Mrs. Price. All right?
Mm-hmm.
She lived not that far from me. And I can remember, I was like 9 years old. I had been cutting up and whatnot in her class. So this is like on the weekend. This was a Saturday. I was riding my bike with a couple of my friends by her house. And she was out there doing some little yard work. She was doing some little gardening with some flowers and whatnot. She just pointed at me. And she said, "You." So I tried to look around like, and she said, "No, you know who I'm talking to, you." She said, "Come over here." Okay, so I slowly walked my bicycle over, and she said, "Look, you know that I know your parents, okay?" And she said, "Look, I won't hesitate, okay, to call William Kelly Jr. So I'm up there trembling at that point. But that's what I'm talking about. Okay? You have a structure, okay? You have parents, and you have school teachers and other members in the community. They know each other and whatnot. Yeah. Okay? If you just have some sub who might not even live in Baltimore, okay? This might be some sub that lives like far outside of the reaches of the city and the county. They're just there for a paycheck.
Yeah.
Look, they just babysit them kids. All right? They babysit them kids, then they're gone. Okay? If you have that around the clock, all right, not to mention, okay, you have this mom who has no association with the school either, other than the fact that her kids are coming home, all right. You have drugs, just running rampant all over the city, mainly in cities like Baltimore. Philadelphia is another one. New Jersey. Okay, you have heroin. I mean, trust me, it's not just white folks that are hooked on all these opioids. It's not.
I believe that.
Okay.
And the thing that I want to go back to what you said about there being factors. Like in this scenario, more specifically, and especially with Freddie Gray, I think about that black woman this was Freddie Gray, right? Like where the mother like slapped her son like on national TV.
Yes,
And,
exactly. That right. You're correct.
And I even think about isn't the mayor of Baltimore a black woman, or it was a black woman who plays some.
You were saying, is there what for a black woman?
Like she's like the mayor, or she plays some significant role.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I'm gonna give you the whole lowdown. Okay, the whole lowdown. Okay, just like I did in in my videos about voting. Why these polls were voting is not gonna help black folks because we're just far too gone now. Yep. But I'm gonna give you the whole lowdown. Okay, the mayor. Okay, black woman. Police chief, black. Mm-hmm. Fire department, okay, fire chief, black. School board head, black. Almost 70% of the city, black. Yeah, I think it's 68% or 70% black. Okay, I could go on and on and on. Okay, as I stated in my video, okay, Marilyn Mosby, okay, the prosecutor.
Yeah.
Now these same black folks that were cheering and shouting up and down, oh man. I'm like, have y'all checked her record? She was locking Negroes up. Look, she was locking Negroes up as if, they came off of slave ships. I'm dead serious, brother. I'm talking about I'm talking about handing down hundreds of years. I'm talking well beyond the point where your body can even survive.
Brother Kel, like I've already come to understand that there's an abysmal, immense hatred and contempt that no neo-Nazi, no Ku Klux Klan member, no skull and crossbone biker could compare to a lot of these black women. Like the hate.
I'm glad you brought that up. Look, brother, I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, look, I've been all through Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. Mm-hmm. Okay, I've been in the Northwest Territories. Okay, I told you I just came back from New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Okay, Vermont, New Hampshire. I've been all up through there. Okay, I've been all up and down the southern realm, okay, and Bible Belt, okay, of the East Coast as well, okay? My father is from Mississippi, okay? I've been all through Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. I've been through most of the states in this union, and I have yet to find... okay, some of the most hardcore racists. Okay, they don't have the level of hatred. I mean, just inner rage hatred that some of these sisters have for black life and black people. Okay, which is why, with my work, I focus internally. Because I'm like, wait a minute. Okay?
Oh, yeah, I know.
You can say, why am I going to get angry? Okay, these white folks have called us niggers and coons. But okay, let's look at us as a people. Let's look at us internally.
Yep.
Okay, and then the history speaks for itself. Okay, I can't cry and complain about the Tuskegee experiment. See, they was giving syphilis to us. But okay, I can't cry about the Tuskegee experiment without bringing up a woman named Nurse Eunice Rivers.
I always focus more on the internal factors more than the external factors. Also, i.e. the outside forces. Because look, when it's said and done, white people are going to look for their own survival. Like, I even said this in one of my first videos back in 2016.
As they should. They have a responsibility to themselves. And this is what black folks just don't understand.
Marcus Garvey, the one that black people revere in such a high regard, understood this. To the point where he didn't even have an issue with the KKK sentiment and philosophy, but that's not something that's talked about.
Elijah Muhammad understood this.
All of those black leaders that they praise so much, Malcolm X understood this.
Understood this.
But you know, they had to go to their golden cow, man. Michael King, Martin Luther King.
Yeah, Michael King, a.k.a. Martin Luther King. They gotta go to that.
Because that's more comforting.
Because that's more comfortable, like you said.
Yeah, because when I was listening to that video with, I was saying about Judah, like he was saying how everything starts in the home, and I was thinking about what you said about how you focused on the internal aspects of black people.
Yeah, for example, now I just brought up the Tuskegee experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Nurse Eunice Rivers worked on. Look, she was the chief nurse. She was the chief nurse from the mid-1940s up until it was finally shut down in 1972. She did no jail time. Actually, none of them did jail time. Okay. You even had black folk, why they picking on that little old. I'm like, this woman did put in solid work for for almost 30 straight years. She put in solid work. Okay. Pressing that syringe filled to the brim with syphilis into the arms of black men, knowing that these black men are going to do what? They're going to mate with their wives. They're going to mate with their girlfriends. Okay?
Yep.
They're going to mate with women outside of their communities, knowing that. Like I said, we have to focus on the internal. We have to. It's a must.
And yeah, that's one of the reasons why I even brought up that young man, Yummy Sanders, because he was a prime example of what it is when you're raised in a dysfunctional single mother household. He was already like sticking people up as a little preteen.
Okay. The original 50 Cent, okay, the one that the rapper is named after, Kelvin Martin. Okay, you know that 50 Cent, okay, that's a borrowed name. That's a name that he took from a New York stick-up boy, okay, a guy that was sticking up guys in the mid-1980s.
I did not know that, Brother Kel.
His name was Kelvin Martin, all right? He hung with the Paid in Full posse, okay? Mainly Eric B., okay, from Eric B. and Rakim.
Yeah.
Go look it up. But look, check it out. Kelvin Martin, the original 50 Cent, who, by the way, was murdered in 1987. Okay? Kelvin Martin, his mother got pregnant with him, okay, while she was messing with a married man. When he was a baby, she takes him and just drops him off with this man's mother. Okay? Not the man, but his mother. Because I think his dad just refused to deal, with it, which is real unfortunate. Okay? He's growing up on them Brooklyn streets with an old grandmother just out there by himself with an old grandmother. There's no other guys around. Drugs all over the place. Heroin. Not to mention, this is the time period of drug dealers like Nicky Barnes. Okay. What did you think he was going to become? Okay? He ended up becoming a notorious stick-up kid.
Wow.
Just walking down the street. I mean, the things he did, the name 50 Cent comes from the fact that one of the things that he used to do, okay, was just walk down the street with both his revolvers and just start shooting at meters, okay, at parking meters.
Wow.
Busting, the quarters would just fly out of the meters.
Wow.
I mean, this fool was so brazen. He would just walk in. He would just walk down a block and go in every single store robbing, the merchants or their customers. Eric B, from Eric B and Rakim, he said one particular night, he had brought him to a party. There at this party.
That's what I find funny. You mentioned 50 Cent, brother. Huh?
But no, let me finish. He goes outside and he said that this brother has a ski mask on.
Oh.
So he was like, man, 50. He was like, 50, what the hell are you doing? He was like, man, there's a lot of money in here, man. I'm getting ready to rob. I'm going to rob at least 4 or 5 of these. He was like, man, take that shit off. Everybody know it. You've been in the party. Everybody's going to know it was you. That way of thinking, okay, comes from having deep-seated hatred, okay, for black men, deep-seated hatred for your community, okay, watching your grandmother struggle like that. That's what that comes from.
Yeah.
Okay? And the fact that, okay, we started this conversation off and you were talking about the rapper 50 Cent. Okay? The fact that we're still memorializing bullshit that went on in the mid-1980s, in the mid to late 1980s, during the crack epidemic, okay, is just sad.
Yeah, it really is.
But no, get to what you were saying.
Oh, I mean, I think you already stated that point, but that's why Eric B called the album Paid in Full with him and Rakim in 87, because he said he died in 87. That's when it came out, the album, in 87.
He died. If you look at the album cover Paid in Full, he's on the back of the album. I'm talking about the LP version. I had the LP version.
Whoa.
Actually, I didn't purchase it. My older sister purchased it. I think I had the cassette. But he's on the back of the album cover with Coolio raps on that back of the album cover. It's one of the only album covers. It's one of the only photographs, period, where you'll see Rakim smiling. If you go on the back of the album cover with Coolio rap 50 and the rest of them smiling.
I've never seen Rakim smile.
Exactly. I mean, it's a rarity. But
and what's crazy is one of these rappers in this modern day, Brotha Kel, was named after Rakim. His name's A$AP Rocky.
A$AP Rocky, right.
But see, here's the thing that troubles me with a brother like A$AP Rocky. He's promoting a metrosexual type of agenda within his content and his music, which what a lot of black men.
I look at that brother, and I've seen pictures and photos of him before he got into the whole hip hop spiel, or before he got into. I won't say before he got into hip hop. I think the brother was, immersed into the culture.
Right.
But I'm talking about before he got into the pop life, okay, that hip-hop pop bullshit that you see going on.
Yep.
Okay? And it's obvious that his handlers, okay, they have him doing this bullshit.
Of course.
I'm going to bring up the brother Alex K. Art. If you ever seen any of his and in his dope artwork. But that brother, he created like the perfect meme or the perfect piece of artwork, which describes all this, where he had this rapper going into the record studio with some blonde white guy in a suit sitting behind the desk, and it says, MC Truth, we're changing up things in the business. In the next frame or the next picture, you see the brother sagging his pants, okay, rocking skinny jeans. I mean, it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And this is no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, to me, that it just reminds me of when I was watching the Boondocks as a kid, and they had that episode with Gangstalicious, and they were talking about like a man purse bag and all this shit. A$AP Rocky literally said in a song that came out a few weeks ago, he said, "This is not a purse, it's a satchel." So that alone let me know, I'm like, damn, these young boys around my age, some older, some younger, are just promoting, like, they're promoting that agenda, and they're making it out to be where heterosexual black men who actually stand for some sort of principalities are being expandable. They're just expandable at this point, replaceable.
Okay, that brother that made, I forget the cat's name, but that brother that made that stupid video, I'm married to the game, where he's sucking the nozzle or he's sucking a gun.
I know what you're talking about. That shit was on World Star. Yeah.
Yeah, as if it's a dick. I'm like, what?
And we already know who's raising them.
Right.
It ain't a James type of black man in good time.
Right. It's not no James Evans type.
Nope.
It's not a James Evans Senior type.
Nope.
Type guy. Okay. That this guy's around. Okay. I mean, how any parent, period, can personally approve of this and socially approve of it, which we see. Okay, all you gotta do is go to the comment threads of these videos of this nature, and you'll just see women. Why y'all hating? And we talking about mothers who are well in their 30s.
Yep.
I don't know, when it all gets said and done, yeah, when it's all said and done, I mean, I don't know. I personally don't know. I don't personally see black people in the United States and other Western locations that are swallowing up this type of degradation, degradation on a day in, day out basis, coming out of that,
Well, on a positive note, though, there is black men who are finally rising, thanks to the likes of you, Brotha Kel, and content like Blog Talk Radio.
I appreciate that, man.
Huh?
No, I said thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Of course, man. I've been watching your content since 2015. You guys are building. You guys are starting to, or I don't know. You could argue rebuild, but you're definitely building a foundation. So black men around my age are starting to disillusion themselves from this BS and not be falling victim to the spell that a lot of these black women have casted on these simps. There's an uprising in it. That's why you see JD Black. That's why you see yourself. That's why even people like me are coming up and you just have all these movements going on, and it's a relieving feeling that people are starting to call black women out on their dysfunction, and it's starting to even. It hasn't. I'm not gonna say that it has quite gotten to the mainstream level, but it's getting there. I sense it because now, because of social media, you can't hide your bullshit like how you used to. So that's the positive angle and aspect.
Yeah, exactly. That right there is one of the few positives. Yeah, that's one of the few positives that comes out of it, is the fact that you have people of sound mind, okay, who view this stuff and they're like, wait a minute. You know, something's terribly wrong here.
Yep. Because honestly, Brother Kel, there's been a generation that skipped that. Ever since, I would say, ever since Malcolm X was assassinated, nobody really wanted to take on that power structure that was holding black people back. And I'm even talking about even within us. And I'm not even just talking about white people and Jews right now. I'm talking about even within us.
Well, Malcolm did. What Malcolm did in his speeches, as well as the men that came before Malcolm, and I'm talking about people like Booker T. Washington and others, okay, their focus was on us. Okay, there wasn't some, we're going to call such a, there wasn't no, Reverend Al type.
Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson.
Such and such is a racist, and he.
Jeremiah Wright.
Right. Jeremiah Wright is another one. Okay.
We'll continue.
Like I said, you didn't have Malcolm and a lot of men that came before him, if they did bring up white men and white people, sometimes what they would bring up is the attribute, one of the attributes of the fact that they support one another, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That they have a system. They have a system that they're dedicated to. That a system that they constantly repeal and, add and subtract and, teeter and, work on, from colonialism all the way up till now.
Yep.